We have all these incredible scientific advances for your health and for the way you look. And I think if you...
Her biggest acting challenge wasn't delivering comedy lines. It wasn't hitting the perfect beat or nailing a punchline. It was something far more personal, far more consuming. Every week, as 30 million viewers tuned in to laugh with her, Patricia Heaton was carrying a secret that could have upended her career and her life. She used props as shields, specific costumes to hide the truth, and even lied to producers about family vacations to keep up the facade. Only one co-star knew what she was truly enduring. That deception required careful choreography, discipline, and vigilance, and it nearly destroyed her health. What she concealed while America watched her every Monday night will forever change how people see her performances. Patricia Heaton was born on March 4, 1958, in Bay Village, Ohio, a small town that embraced tradition with an almost religious devotion. She was the fourth of 5 children in a household where Catholic practice wasn't just routine, it was the axis around which life revolved. Every meal, every word, every prayer followed a meticulous, almost ritualistic cadence. Arguments were whispered in certain rooms and shouted in others, but always under the shadow of morality and expectation. Her father, Chuck Heaton, worked as a sports writer for the local paper, but the paychecks barely stretched across mounting hospital bills, groceries, and a bustling household. Her mother, Patricia Heard, remained at home, trying to hold everything together through a mixture of prayer, quiet strength, and unspoken worry. The rosary echoed nightly through the walls, a steady hum of faith that contrasted sharply with the tension beneath the surface. Money was always tight. Tempers flared. And from a very young age, Patricia learned to measure her words, to carry burdens without complaining. Her family was complicated. Sharon, her eldest sister, chose the convent, seeking solace in faith and discipline, casting a shadow of expectation over Patricia. Her brother Michael struggled with ongoing health issues, his life marked by hospital visits and constant concern. Michael fought bravely, but in 2022, at just 66 years old, he passed away, a loss that hit Patricia like a tidal wave, resurrecting feelings she had long buried. Even in her closest moments, she had looked up to him. Their bond, fragile yet enduring, shaped much of her emotional foundation. Though the family remained tightly knit through faith, the weight of expectations and the experience of grief prevented them from ever feeling fully whole. Patricia's first taste of liberation came on stage. By the time she was 10, she discovered a sanctuary in the school auditorium. For the first time, she could forget the harsh Ohio winters, the cramped bedroom shared with 2 sisters, and the oppressive silence that followed every argument at home. On stage, she wasn't Patricia, the dutiful daughter or the perfect Catholic girl. She was someone else entirely, a person who could speak, move, and breathe freely, even if only for a fleeting moment. Her parents never actively discouraged her acting, but they didn't encourage it either. Still, she persisted, show after show, performance after performance, because she had discovered a rare space where she could truly be herself. But life had a cruel way of testing her resilience. In 1970, when Patricia was just 12, her mother collapsed from a brain aneurysm and never came home. There was no goodbye. No time to process, only the immediate, searing reality of loss. Overnight, she was thrust into a world of responsibility far beyond her years. Therapy wasn't part of the conversation. No one offered guidance or support. She quietly assumed the role of caretaker for her younger brother, wiping away his tears while suppressing her own. This grief became part of her, shaping how she perceived the world, how she loved, and ultimately, how she performed on stage. The sudden absence of her mother instilled a lifelong awareness of fragility, of how quickly the world could shift beneath one's feet. In the years that followed, Patricia quietly rebelled against the strictures of her upbringing. She hid theater scripts beneath her bed, afraid her father might discover them. She snuck out to attend auditions for community plays, drawn by the intoxicating sense of freedom acting provided. Every time she questioned why God would take her mother, guilt clawed at her heart, but she pressed on. Acting was more than a hobby, it was a lifeline, a channel for her voice in a household where speaking out often seemed forbidden. It was risky, raw, and defiant, but it was hers. Her pursuit of acting carried her to Ohio State University in 1976, where she majored in theater while commuting from home to save money. At 19, she directed a student production of Our Town. The play wasn't flawless, but it was authentic and powerful. Classmates wept at the final curtain. Professors remembered her name, and for the first time, she felt proof that her passion held tangible value. By senior year, she had joined the Delta Gamma sorority, balancing social obligations with part-time jobs and late-night rehearsals. Her years at Ohio State were far from easy. They were a rigorous exercise in discipline, resilience, and emotional fortitude. She learned how to harness pain, how to channel it into something others couldn't look away from. But the road wasn't smooth. One professor remarked that she was too emotional to pursue serious acting, nearly shattering her confidence. She considered quitting, switching majors, or abandoning her dream entirely. Instead, she doubled down, taking night shifts and waitressing to pay for improv classes. She honed her craft, often performing late into the night after grueling workdays. Those nights taught her to be strong, to be funny without breaking, and to endure rejection without surrendering her spirit. By 1979, Patricia had joined a daring student production of Hamlet, where the roles of men and women were radically switched, and the lines rewritten to challenge traditional interpretations. The production incited protests and accusations of sacrilege, yet the audience turnout was relentless. Patricia held her ground, discovering the transformative power of art, not just to entertain, but to provoke, unsettle, and inspire. This experience cemented a crucial lesson: she would no longer play safe. After graduating in 1980, Patricia faced further upheaval when her father remarried, reopening old wounds. She channeled her emotions into a one-woman show on grief and separation, performing at a small regional theater. The performance was raw, intimate, and devastatingly honest. The audience responded in stunned silence, recognizing the pain she had lived through and transformed into art. The recognition she received gave her hope that her story could resonate beyond personal suffering. Later that year, Patricia made the bold move to New York City with almost no money, sleeping on relatives' couches and subsisting on ramen and cold sandwiches. Auditions blurred into one another, rejections piled up, and her mother's death loomed as an unprocessed, silent shadow. Her first off-Broadway role came at 22 in Woody Allen's Don't Drink the Water. But the experience soured when the director repeatedly altered her lines, reshaping the character until it no longer made sense. She walked away. Some called her difficult, she called it self-respect. She was determined not to let others dilute her craft. Years of relentless auditions followed, over 20 attempts yielding little success. In 1989, a small role on Alien Nation finally offered her some financial stability, though it typecast her as the comedic sidekick. That same year, she secured a recurring role on 30-something, a 12-episode run that introduced her to television audiences but left unseen bruises on her physical and emotional health. 16-hour workdays, midnight calls, and scant meals exacerbated an eating disorder she quietly endured. In 1988, her audition for Roseanne ended in disappointment, nearly prompting her to abandon acting altogether. She considered returning to Ohio to teach drama, but the dream refused to die. Her breakthrough came in 1992 with Memoirs of an Invisible Man, where she confronted on-set chaos with professionalism, insisting on preserving her role despite Chevy Chase's constant improvisation. That same year, she lent her voice to the animated Beethoven movie, securing a lifeline of work between larger projects. Earlier, in 1984, a brief Broadway stint in The Higher They Fly had ended in 3 weeks and $10,000 of debt, but every setback became another lesson in persistence and resilience. Finally, 1992 brought her first major lead in the Fox sitcom Room for Two, where she portrayed TV producer Kim. The show ran 26 episodes, attracting modest ratings but failing to make a major mark. Criticism stung, but Patricia resolved to pursue roles that challenged her and revealed her range. Her efforts in 1994 with Someone Like Me as Jane Farmer, a mother juggling work and family, continued this trajectory, proving she could balance comedy with depth, humor with humanity. Behind the laughter, however, Patricia's most profound challenge remained invisible to viewers. On the set of Everybody Loves Raymond, she carried a private, life-altering secret that dictated costume choices, props, and even her public schedule. The careful choreography of this hidden reality required vigilance and physical endurance. The strain of secrecy tested her health and emotional stability, yet she maintained her comedic brilliance, winning Emmy Awards and the admiration of millions, all while quietly managing a truth that could have unraveled her world. Every triumph in Patricia Heaton's life was inseparable from her trials. Her childhood losses, the responsibilities she assumed too early, the rejections, the near breakdowns, and the persistent drive to be authentically herself shaped the woman audiences came to love on screen. Comedy and tragedy intertwined seamlessly in her career, her personal grief informed the depth of her performances, and her humor masked the scars beneath. Through it all, she proved that resilience is not merely enduring hardship, but transforming it into something others can see, feel, and connect with. Patricia Heaton's journey demonstrates that the laughter we witness often carries invisible weight, and the woman behind the smile is far more remarkable than the character she portrays. Even as audiences laughed at her impeccable timing and relatable charm, Patricia's life behind the cameras was far more complex than anyone realized. Every prop she picked up, every costume she wore, was carefully chosen to conceal a personal truth she could not afford to share. Lunch breaks became strategy sessions, figuring out what questions might come, what subtle cues might betray her secret. She smiled, delivered lines flawlessly, and laughed in all the right places, but beneath it, her mind was a storm of worry, fatigue, and guarded emotion. Only one co-star, someone she trusted implicitly, knew the reality behind the smile. Every day was a balancing act, maintaining her character's warmth for the millions watching, while shielding her private pain from public view. The strain of this secret seeped into her physical health. Weeks blurred into months of tension, sleepless nights, and the constant effort to appear normal. She became adept at hiding signs of exhaustion, learning how to manage her energy and emotions to avoid suspicion. The routines she developed, carefully timed meals, specific wardrobe choices, and subtle gestures to deflect attention, were like a second role, performed with as much precision as any script. Fans only saw Deborah Barone, the smart, witty, loving wife on Everybody Loves Raymond, but Patricia was simultaneously navigating a far more challenging reality. The duality of her life created an inner resilience, teaching her how to endure hardship with grace, humor, and professionalism. Patricia's private life was equally complex. The demands of a career in television, paired with the secrecy she maintained, made intimacy and trust both precious and precarious. She had to navigate relationships carefully, often masking exhaustion and personal turmoil to maintain appearances. Friends and colleagues knew only fragments of her true life. Romantic partners sometimes sensed the weight she carried but could not fully understand it. Even at home, she had to compartmentalize, ensuring that family moments remained joyful while keeping the larger struggles contained. Marriage and motherhood added another layer to her responsibilities. Raising children while filming a hit sitcom meant meticulously scheduling every hour, coordinating family routines around taping schedules, and managing the delicate balance between professional ambition and personal devotion. Yet, in the midst of the chaos, she found moments of profound connection, small victories that reminded her why she persisted. These relationships were her anchor, offering love, grounding, and perspective amid the storm of public scrutiny and private challenge. The emotional intelligence she developed during these years would later become a defining feature of both her career and her life philosophy. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Patricia Heaton had firmly established herself as one of television's most beloved actresses. Everybody Loves Raymond became a cultural phenomenon, and her portrayal of Deborah Barone earned multiple Emmy Awards and critical acclaim. Audiences connected with her authenticity, her ability to balance humor with nuance, and the relatability of her character. Yet, the reality behind the scenes remained largely hidden. Every accolade, every standing ovation, came while she maintained her secret, an invisible pressure that never truly left her. The fame brought new challenges. Media appearances, interviews, and public events demanded energy she often did not have, yet Patricia continued to present a composed and cheerful persona. She became an expert at compartmentalization, separating the demands of stardom from the realities of her private life. The paradox of celebrity life, being adored by millions while concealing profound personal truths, shaped her worldview. It deepened her empathy, informed her performances, and allowed her to connect with characters on a level few actors could. Behind the laughter, Patricia had become a master of resilience, channeling unseen struggles into her craft and public image. Even as the cameras rolled and the audience laughed, Patricia faced struggles that no one could see. The production schedules were grueling, 16-hour days, early mornings, late nights, and constant pressure to be perfect. Every scene required not just timing and comedic delivery, but also a careful management of energy and mood. Her personal secret, the one she had carried for years, demanded constant vigilance. A careless gesture, a slight expression, or a missed cue could inadvertently reveal more than she intended. On set, Patricia became meticulous. She used props as shields, leaned subtly in ways that protected her body and her vulnerability, and chose wardrobe strategically to hide physical signs of stress. Sometimes, she even altered her posture or movements to ensure no one noticed fatigue or pain. The mental and physical discipline required for this dual performance was enormous. She kept the secret tucked tightly away, sharing it with only one trusted co-star, who understood the weight she carried. It was a balancing act that few could imagine, and yet she executed it with grace, professionalism, and unwavering dedication. The hard work paid off. Patricia's brilliance could no longer be ignored. Multiple Emmy Awards recognized her skill in transforming a sitcom character into someone real, complex, and profoundly human. Critics praised her ability to blend humor with subtle emotional depth, while fans celebrated her authenticity on screen. She became a symbol of relatable, intelligent women navigating life with wit and determination. Yet, awards and accolades did not ease the personal burden she carried. The contrast between public success and private struggle was stark. Each recognition reminded her that millions saw only a portion of her life. The applause validated her talent, but the weight of her secret remained, a quiet companion that never left. It was this duality, the ability to shine brilliantly under pressure while managing unseen challenges, that made her performances resonate so deeply. The Emmy trophies were more than symbols of achievement, they were proof of her resilience, discipline, and mastery of craft under extraordinary circumstances. Patricia Heaton's career became more than just a series of roles, it became a blueprint for professionalism and perseverance. She showed aspiring actors that true skill lies not only in talent but also in resilience, discipline, and emotional intelligence. Younger co-stars and colleagues often marveled at her dedication, noting how she could maintain composure and humor even under the most stressful conditions. Her influence extended beyond television, inspiring women to embrace both vulnerability and strength, showing that authenticity and professionalism could coexist. The legacy she built wasn't only through her acting, it was through the example she set. Audiences and industry professionals alike recognized that Patricia brought a depth of character to every role. Even as she carried unseen personal challenges, her performances spoke louder than words, leaving a lasting impact on sitcoms, television culture, and the generations of viewers who connected with her work. While Patricia's career flourished, her personal life remained a central focus. She balanced motherhood, marriage, and family responsibilities alongside a demanding acting career. Her commitment to family mirrored the devotion she had witnessed as a child but was informed by the lessons learned through loss and grief. She carefully crafted a life that allowed her to nurture her loved ones, even as she navigated the pressures of stardom. The secret she carried continued to shape her choices. She avoided public appearances that could expose vulnerabilities, carefully managed media interactions, and structured her home life to provide stability for her children. Yet, in private, she celebrated small victories, family dinners without distraction, quiet weekends spent together, and the ability to witness milestones without compromise. These personal triumphs, though often invisible to fans, were profound markers of her resilience and dedication. Looking back, Patricia Heaton's journey reveals more than talent, it reveals extraordinary strength. From childhood trauma to professional obstacles, she consistently transformed pain into performance. Her laughter, timing, and nuanced portrayals were infused with the very real experiences she had carried since youth. Every hardship, her mother's sudden death, family expectations, rejection in the acting world, and the hidden burdens she bore on set, became fuel for the woman and actress she became. The secret she maintained, once a source of intense stress, eventually contributed to a deepened sense of empathy and resilience. It taught her the value of discretion, emotional control, and grace under pressure. Patricia's story is a testament to the complexity behind every public persona. The laughter audiences enjoy is often accompanied by unseen challenges, sacrifices, and unwavering commitment. She stands as a model not only of comedic brilliance but also of enduring human strength, a reminder that the most remarkable achievements often unfold quietly, behind the scenes. Even after achieving fame, Patricia Heaton faced new hurdles in her career. The typecasting that once threatened to limit her range returned in subtle ways. Casting directors saw her primarily as the comedic wife or sidekick, despite the depth she had displayed in prior roles. Each audition became a test, not just of talent, but of persistence. She had to convince producers and directors that she could carry dramatic roles, lead projects, and deliver complex performances beyond the sitcom format. The entertainment industry, with its relentless pace, offered little room for vulnerability. Patricia learned to navigate these challenges with strategy and resilience. She selectively chose roles, balancing commercial success with opportunities that allowed her to grow as an actress. Even as her name became recognizable worldwide, she never stopped preparing meticulously for each role, refusing to let fame dilute her craft. Behind the laughter and awards, she maintained a disciplined work ethic, continually refining her skills, attending workshops, and collaborating with writers and directors to ensure authenticity in every performance. Beyond traditional television and film roles, Patricia Heaton explored voice acting as a vital creative outlet. Animated movies and television series provided a different type of challenge, one that demanded versatility without relying on physical expressions or on-screen presence. Her work in projects like the Beethoven animated films showcased her ability to adapt, lending warmth, humor, and depth through voice alone. Voice work became both a lifeline and an artistic experiment. It allowed her to explore new characters, connect with younger audiences, and maintain a presence in the industry even between larger projects. For Patricia, this diversification was not just professional, it was personal. It demonstrated her adaptability, her willingness to take risks, and her commitment to storytelling in all its forms. It also offered a temporary reprieve from the scrutiny of live audiences, providing space to perform without the weight of constant visual evaluation, yet still reaching millions with her talent. As Patricia's career matured, she became a mentor to younger actors and colleagues in the industry. Her experience navigating setbacks, secrecy, and intense pressure gave her unique insight into the realities of show business. She shared lessons about resilience, professionalism, and the importance of maintaining one's identity in a world that often demands conformity. Many young performers looked up to her, not just for her talent, but for her integrity and dedication. Patricia taught them that laughter and empathy could coexist, that strength could be shown quietly, and that challenges, both visible and hidden, could become powerful tools for artistic expression. Her mentorship extended beyond acting skills. It encompassed life lessons about persistence, self-respect, and emotional intelligence. Through these efforts, she influenced an entire generation, leaving a legacy that went far beyond her on-screen achievements. Fame, Patricia discovered, was both a gift and a challenge. While the public saw her successes, they rarely perceived the hidden struggles that accompanied them. The discipline required to maintain a public image, manage private burdens, and still deliver extraordinary performances taught her profound lessons about resilience, patience, and self-awareness. Her journey from a small-town girl in Bay Village to an Emmy-winning actress revealed a remarkable arc of growth. Each rejection, each personal loss, and each on-set challenge contributed to a deeper understanding of herself and her craft. The secret she carried for so long, once a source of anxiety, became a quiet engine of strength. It shaped her performances, informed her empathy, and refined her professionalism. Patricia's story illustrates the duality of human experience, the visible triumphs and the unseen sacrifices, and highlights the extraordinary courage required to balance both successfully. Through it all, she maintained authenticity. Even in moments of public acclaim, she remained connected to her roots, her family, and the values instilled during her formative years. Patricia Heaton's life and career demonstrate that true strength lies not only in talent but in the ability to endure, adapt, and transform adversity into artistry. Her journey serves as an inspiration, reminding audiences that every smile and laugh can carry a story of perseverance, courage, and unseen battles won behind the scenes. As the years progressed, Patricia Heaton continued to evolve as an actress, choosing projects that challenged her and allowed her to grow creatively. No longer confined to the typecasting of her early career, she embraced roles that explored new dimensions of her talent, blending humor with dramatic depth. Television movies, guest appearances, and independent films became opportunities to stretch her range and demonstrate versatility. Even with the fame she had achieved, Patricia remained meticulous in her preparation, treating every role with the same care she had during her earliest auditions in New York. Her approach combined instinct, experience, and discipline, honed over decades of navigating an unpredictable industry. Each performance reflected not only her technical skill but also the wisdom gained from a lifetime of personal and professional challenges. Through her recent projects, she proved that growth is constant, and that reinvention is not a threat to success but a pathway to enduring relevance. Beyond her work in entertainment, Patricia Heaton dedicated significant time and energy to philanthropy and advocacy. Drawing from her own experiences of loss, grief, and personal struggle, she became a voice for causes related to family support, children's welfare, and healthcare access. Her public visibility allowed her to champion initiatives that might otherwise go unnoticed, and she often used interviews and appearances to raise awareness about issues close to her heart. Patricia's advocacy was deeply personal. She understood the power of support networks, mentorship, and early intervention, and she sought to provide resources and guidance for families facing challenges similar to those she experienced growing up. Her contributions went beyond financial donations. She actively engaged with organizations, attended events, and shared her story to inspire resilience and hope. In doing so, she extended the impact of her career beyond entertainment, demonstrating that influence carries responsibility and that true legacy includes giving back to the community. Today, Patricia Heaton's legacy is defined not just by her memorable performances but by the integrity, resilience, and humanity she brought to her work. Her journey, from a small-town girl carrying hidden grief to an Emmy-winning actress commanding national attention, serves as a testament to the strength of the human spirit. The challenges she endured, the sacrifices she made, and the secret she carried through years of filming imbued her performances with authenticity and depth. Audiences connect with Patricia because she embodies truth in her roles. Behind the humor, there is a profound understanding of life's complexities, a reflection of her personal experiences, and a mastery of channeling pain into art. Her influence extends to co-stars, young actors, and fans alike, who admire not only her talent but also her perseverance, empathy, and professionalism. She proved that a career can be both successful and meaningful, that laughter can coexist with struggle, and that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. Patricia Heaton's story is a reminder that behind every celebrated figure lies a series of unseen battles, personal sacrifices, and quiet victories. Her ability to maintain grace, humor, and authenticity under immense pressure has left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry and on the hearts of millions who have laughed, cried, and been inspired by her work. Her legacy continues to resonate, illustrating that the most enduring impact comes not only from talent but from courage, resilience, and the unwavering commitment to live and create with integrity.